February 2021, McAllen, Texas. We started our second month here in McAllen by hiking through the Estero Llano Grande State Park. This state park was about 25-30 minutes away from the RV park where we are staying. It has miles and miles of trails, but we satisfied ourselves with hiking about 6 miles and then we called it a day. Not all the trails were this shaded and wooded. In fact, most of them were kind of out in the open, and we got more sun than we really wanted to. Our next stop in February after hiking these trails was a stop at South Padre Island. The sand on the beaches of South Texas is a lot harder than the fluffy sand of Florida that we're all used to. So that means that you can drive your car on it quite easily. Driving on these beaches is interesting because the sand isn't hard all over. If you drive too far away from the waterline, the sand gets soft and deep and it's easy enough to get stuck. You can drive for miles along these beaches, and it feels like every mile you drive gives you something new to look at. But Janet and I didn't come to South Padre Island just for the beaches and for the sights. We came down for a specific purpose. No, it wasn't to watch the fishing boats go in and out of the harbor. We came down to watch an event that we had wanted to see for a long time. Nice pirate ship, right? But look behind it. Those two towers behind the ship are two Starships sitting on their launch pad at the SpaceX Boca Chica launch complex. We came here today because one of them is scheduled to launch in just a few hours. From our vantage point on the beach, we could see most of the SpaceX launch facility only a few miles away. And the time finally came. Launch! Yeah. Oh, sweet. The goal was to launch the Starship 12 miles up and then turn it around and bring it down for a safe landing. On the way down, the Starship falls flat on its belly and just continues to fall to the ground.
Wow.
The idea is to swivel right before they hit the ground,
Falling
ignite
slow
their
almost, isn't it?
engines, and land softly.
Come on. Come on, swivel you. There we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. Oh! Oh! Rapid unscheduled decompartmentalization.
That is not a soft landing. Maybe next time. So that got us interested enough to go to Boca Chica and check out SpaceX's launch complex. It's amazing how close you can actually get. That is another Starship getting assembled for its turn at a launch. And that is yet another Starship on the launch pad ready to go. That Starship on the launch pad was sitting next to the one that launched just a few days ago and performed a less than optimal landing less than 100 yards away. The launch pad sits less than 500 yards from the beach. And this is a public beach, and the only way to get to this beach is down this public road which cuts right through the launch complex. I was kind of used to Cape Canaveral where you can't get within miles of any of those spaceships, but down here you can almost throw a rock at them. So, after admiring the starships and the launch complex, we went the last few yards and took a walk on Boca Chica Beach. Other than the view of Starship from the beach, this beach was a typical Texas beach with hard-packed sand that makes for easy walking. And although we could have taken a drive up the beach in the car, we decided that this time we'll just enjoy a nice long walk on the beach. After all, it was a nice warm day, and this was a fun and easy walk a few miles up and down the beach. After our walk on the beach, Janet and I split away from Craig and Susan and started looking around to see what the rest of Boca Chica looked like. We took a drive down some dirt roads just to see where they went. We found some observation areas and hung around there for a while just to see what we could see. So after dealing with 4 hurricanes in 2020, we were looking to better treatment in 2021. We were wrong, because only a few days after this wonderfully warm excursion, Texas got hit with a cold snap like it hadn't seen for nearly 100 years. This part of Texas hardly ever gets below freezing, and we had temperatures in the single digits for nearly 3 days. And although normally a little cold wouldn't bother me, this time it did bother me because the cold shut down the power grid and shut down the water treatment facilities. So, no power, no water. The power situation was no problem for me because I have a generator, but after a week I was getting really short on water. Fortunately, I didn't run out and everything was eventually restored, although it was a near thing. After about a week and a half, the warm weather finally returned. And that meant that Janet and I could go out, find another park, and continue our walking. This time, we went to the Santa Ana National Wildlife Refuge. This is a national park, and it too has miles and miles of trails. According to the map that we looked at, it appeared to us that the Rio Grande River was no more than 3 miles or so from where we parked the car. So, we looked over the map, picked a few trails, and started to make our way south down to the Rio Grande. The hike along these trails was nice because at least parts of it were in the shade. And shade was good because the temperature out there today hit 90. It's weird to think about the fact that just last week the temperature out here was 9, and today it's 90. We walked by a few ponds that were just swarming with ducks, and eventually made our way all the way down to the Rio Grande. The Rio Grande is not what it used to be. Back in the day, this river was way larger and had a whole lot more water in it. But so much water has been taken out of this river for irrigation on both the Mexican and the American side that this river is now just a mere shadow of what it used to be. There was a time when large boats used to go up and down this river delivering the goods from upriver down to the port of Brownsville. That is no longer possible because the river is nowhere near deep enough, so you just don't see any more boat traffic up and down this river. The best you can hope for is a little rowboat. And February finally came to an end. Janet and I hiked 2 parks, explored 2 beaches, and watched SpaceX launch and crash their rocket. So for as long as COVID keeps going on, Janet and I are going to stick to these outdoor activities. Fortunately, here at McAllen, Texas, there are many outdoor activities for us to enjoy. So with a month left here in Texas, Janet and I are looking forward to doing more exploring. And with that, I'll just say, see you here next time.